I'm Rachel.
And I'm Anna. Oh my goodness, on the book club. Yeah.
Yeah. Yesterday it was the full moon of May. And this month, the full moon was the flower moon. So we're wearing flower t-shirts. We're wearing flower t-shirts.
I don't have a flower t-shirt on.
We're very on theme today, and we're going to be talking about books that have flowers in the title.
Or connections to flowers.
Yeah, mine doesn't have flowers.
Mine doesn't have flowers in the title. Tenuous links to flowers.
Yes.
I shall start with Garden Spells. Garden Spells by Sarah Addison Allen. This is one of my favourite books. I can't remember, but I think I may have mentioned it on the channel before.
Okay.
I'll read you the back.
Okay.
Claire has always clung to the Waverley's roots, tending the enchanted soil.
Sorry. Roots. A word play. Please continue reading the blurb.
Claire has always clung to the Waverley's roots, tending the enchanted soil in the family garden, from which she makes her sought-after delicacies famed and feared for their curious effects. She has everything she thinks she needs, until one day she wakes to find a stranger has moved in next door, and a vine of ivy has crept into her garden. Claire's carefully tended life is about to run gloriously out of control.
Ooh.
So this is a very sweet magical realism romance family book, which includes a magic garden with an apple tree that can tell the future, and
I've told you about that one.
yeah, I think I've told you about this one before. And Claire grows edible flowers and then uses them in her baking. And
That might have been First Frost, not that one.
Oh yeah, because First Frost is the sequel to this. And her bakes and things have different like spell effects on people.
That's cute.
So it's really cute. Garden spells. We're also going, the next one is a non-fiction book.
Ooh.
The Country Diary of an Edwardian Lady.
I like the illustrations.
Yes, well the illustrations are by the Edwardian lady.
Sure.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. In the Edwardian times, Edith Holden kept a diary of flowers and nature things she saw and accompanied them with really pretty illustrations. And she kind of documented the year. Yeah, have a look. So she documented a year in English countryside. She was also an illustrator, a children's illustrator and a card illustrator.
It smells nice.
Yeah.
Have you made it smell this way, or did it just
No,
smell
I think
this
that's
way?
just a good old book smell.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do books always smell
So
good.
this is a nice book to dip in and out of throughout the year. It doesn't necessarily tell a story or anything like lectures or essays. It's just little observations of moments in the garden or in the English countryside.
This kind of
Okay,
reminds
I'm
me
gonna-
of your bird book.
Yeah.
This is the relevant page to today. Well, to around today. There's some drawings of holly, something else, and something else.
And the book was like, this diary wasn't published until after her death and became a bit of a hit. You refer back to it. So yeah.
I can't put into words how nice that book smells. It's like it's been in a perfumed drawer.
Wait, can I smell it?
It's not been in any of my perfumed drawers.
Do you know what I mean?
I can't quite capture it, but that's nice.
I don't smell it.
Maybe I'm hallucinating.
Oh no! Do you know what? I have been keeping it next to a little. Yeah, sorry, I take the mick out of it, but I have been keeping it next to one of those diffusers.
Ah, it's been diffused.
It's been diffused.
No, it's been suffused. I don't know.
Suffused from the diffuser.
I don't know what the word is. Because diffusing is when it goes out, isn't it?
Yeah.
So surely
This hasn't been diffused.
it's been the opposite of diffused.
Whatever that is.
English lessons with Rachel and Cathy. I gestured to you when I
That
said
should be
Rachel,
a
and I
video.
gestured to me when I said Cathy.
We're very tired today. So this is a really nice book to like have on your shelf and then just leaf through it and enjoy the pictures and the nice nature writing.
Cute. I looked at my bookshelves and realised that I don't really have any books with flowers in the title, even though I'm the one who suggested that this was the theme for the Flower Moon video. So I've kind of got a little off topic. I've picked a book called Gardens of the Moon.
Oh!
It's about
Space.
gardens, yeah.
And the moon.
On the moon! I didn't even think about the moon! Wow, I'm even more on brand than Cathy. Okay, so this is the first in a fantasy series called The Malazan Book of the Fallen.
That sounded so funny.
Hear me out. That also actually fits in because it's Malazan Book of the Fallen and the book fell. Wow, we're making all sorts of connections here, guys. Anyway, this is a fantasy series that I read the other year with my friend, and in the moment, I sometimes struggled with it. It was very verbose and heavy, and there was just a lot of stuff that we were told that I didn't really care about. But then also the characters, some of them, great. And you're introduced to some of them in this book. Now this book is a little strange because you're just thrown into action with no ceremony whatsoever. And I have, when I was in book 1 and book 2, I looked on the internet and people complained about it, but I really enjoyed the first book. Even not knowing anything else about the series, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good little book. It's not actually that little, but compared to the other ones, it's pretty little. And I think I would really like to go back and reread this, having read the whole series, to see how that changes my perception of it. Because like I said, you're thrown in, you don't even have a life raft, you're just literally just drowning in the water and the lore and everything like that. But I really enjoyed it and I would like to read it again. And I think when I was reading it, so it's called Gardens of the Moon because there's a quote somewhere about gardens on the moon. There's lots of little poetry and history quotes throughout it at the start of each chapter, like in-universe poetry and history, and I think one of them referenced the Gardens of the Moon, and when I was reading it I didn't even register it as the title quote. I have mentioned this series in the past, and when I did mention it, it's something that I said I don't think that Cathy would enjoy this book, but those were some sharp claws. But I think if you are a fantasy fan who enjoys like meaty, heavy, gritty, unnecessarily complicated things, give it a shot if you haven't already read it. Our next slightly related to flowers book is
the cat's going.
If You See a Fairy Ring.
This is one of Ola's books. Ola, can you tell us anything about this book?
So it's like a book of a cat that has a lot of pictures with flowers in, and it's a pop-up book that also has a lot of poems, and it's about fairies and obviously fairy rings.
Yeah.
And there were like different kinds of fairies in here. There's like sunshine fairies and rainbow fairies.
Yeah.
Very nice.
It's a very sweet book.
Yeah.
And speaking of fairies and flowers, that leads me very nicely onto the last books.
How convenient.
How convenient.
The last books, they look exactly the same.
Yeah,
Should
so
I hold one?
you can hold them. So these are Cicely Mary Barker's Flower Fairy books. Absolute classic. She wrote, in case you didn't know of her, she wrote lots of poems about flower fairies, and for each kind of wildflower or garden flower she would make a little fairy character to go with it, and this treasury has them all in, and the illustrations are just beautiful and the poems are lovely too. I often say like my poetry tastes are very basic.
But you also had that poem. You had that poem one that was like different for different parts of the year, that was like non-fiction, and you've put it on Luna before.
Yeah.
Go and watch that video.
I've never even heard of Cicely
Have you
Mary
not?
Barker.
Have you seen these kind of illustrations before?
I think so. I think there's a restaurant where they have pictures in the toilets.
Oh, yeah, that rings a bell actually. So each different flower has a fairy that goes with it, and the fairy's kind of dressed to match the flower, and then they have a little poem about that wildflower and a bit of fairy lore. So this is a beautiful book.
Look at this little guy! Aww.
Which one's that? The nasturtium? Yeah, it's cute. So that's the big treasury poetry book, which I've had since I was very little, and I still really love it.
Did you know that comet's still stitching up
This
there?
comet's still up above me. And then the book that Rachel's holding is connected to it. So that's also illustrated with her fairy flower pictures. But this is a book of flower folklore. It's called The Meaning of Flowers. So for each kind of wildflower, there's like a little thing of like either what it symbolises, or a bit of folklore about it, or an old myth or fable about it. And it's in alphabetical order. Are you looking up your flowers on your t-shirt?
Yes, because my t-shirt also has some flower meanings on it.
Oh,
So
you're
I'm
going to
trying
see if they match up?
Yeah, if they match, if they have it. It's got hydrangea.
Wait,
Hydrangea
it has
isn't in
an
it.
hydrangea. That's
No,
my favourite
hydrangea.
flower.
Primula?
Oh, primrose?
I don't know.
That's
That's your name on Animal
What does-
Crossing, isn't it, Mummy? Primrose.
Early
Is
youth?
that a primrose?
Primula. I assume it's a kind of primrose.
Forget me not. Petunia. That's not in here either.
Forget me not will be in there.
I don't think so.
You seeing it?
E, F, G.
They might be
I
in
know
that.
that.
They
Forget
might
me
be
not.
True love.
Cure
and
for broken
romance.
hearts. That's what this says. I think my top might be wrong. I trust this book more than my top.
So, for example, sweet pea is sometimes known as bride's blessing. Sweet peas should always be present at weddings. They are good omens for brides.
So if you didn't have sweet peas at your wedding, you're doomed.
I did not have sweet peas at my wedding. I got married.
You're doomed! You're doomed!
I got married in September. Also, now I can think of it, I'm rubbish at growing sweet peas. I'm trying to grow them right now, and they are dying in the garden. But the marriage is going alright, so. So this is a lovely poetry book, and then this I've used a lot in like writing to like add extra layers of meaning or just find cool stuff. It's only a really short book, but I really enjoy flicking through it.
That's cute. Where do you store this?
Where do I store it? It's in my bedroom.
Okay.
So feel free to read it when your cat's sitting.
Okay. Might do.
Well, these were some flowery book recommendations. We hope you've enjoyed this video. It has felt very random sitting here.
Yeah, it really has.
Maybe the editing process will make it feel very smooth and cohesive.
So smooth, so cohesive.
I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. Next week, Rach will be giving me a surprise test on my bookshelves. I believe. I actually don't know what we're going to be filming.
I don't know what
I'm
that
filled.
means.
I am filled with dread and anticipation.
At least I'm not asking you to name them for a second.
Yeah. At least you promised me it's not a quiz on characters' names, so.
Like Wheel of Time. Name every single Wheel of Time thing in the world.
Never! So I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Please do like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye!
Bye!
It is the time of the month where...
I have a cat on my knee, so I can't do anything anymore.
Okay.
It might not have been pop-up, it might just be...
Ooh!
Yeah, it does a thing where it changes. Oh, you're hitting the cat in the face.
Sorry, Connor.
You can go with it.
Don't drop it on your head. That's
Oh,
chunky.
no, chop
Why
it.
did I drop it as you said that? Okay.
Comic.
I almost dropped a pineapple on my foot the other day.
That would have really hurt.
It would have broken my foot.